Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Against the Public for July 10th. I'm Dana Lane. Today, as usual, I'm going to give you my top Major League Baseball free plays, and hopefully we'll be able to build on yesterday's perfect 3-0 mark on the free plays. And then we'll finish it off by looking at ground ball rates. We looked at line drive rates the other day. We're going to look at ground ball rates for starting pitching and how that affects our ability to cash tickets. Also, after the show, please go to pickdawgz.com. I'll have my premium Major League Baseball plays. Yesterday, also a perfect 3-0 in our premium Major League Baseball plays. 4-1 overall on the website. So please make sure you get involved, whether it's with our NBA plays or tomorrow's WNBA plays. You can get those single plays or a 3-pack, and I'll have one in Major League Baseball and one in WNBA. You can get those for $49.99, and of course, every individual play or every 3-pack always comes with our Pick Dawgz win guarantee. You must profit or receive an immediate site credit for the purchase price. In addition, there's only one way to get every play I release, and you guys know that's to become an all-access member, and you can simply do that by purchasing a 30-day pass for less than $11 a day, a 90-day pass for less than $10 a day. Better yet, guys, jump on that annual all-access pass for what amounts to about $3.56 a day. It carries you right through the rest of the Major League Baseball season, right into the NFL preseason, regular season, college football, NBA, NHL, college basketball, and right back here again in the 2025 Major League Baseball season. Just $3.56, guys. Throw it on a credit card. We'll pay it off a little at a time. We'll sit back and make the rest of 2024 the best year that you've ever had. And of course, yesterday we talked about already the All Access members were 4-1 on the website yesterday. So congratulations to everybody who got involved. Okay, let's roll our sleeves up. Let's get to work onto your free plays for Wednesday. Remember, these are probable pitchers, so double check before you make your wager. Start things off 1:45 Eastern Time, game number 931-932. The Kansas City Royals against the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals minus $1.30. 8.5 is your total. Alec Marsh against Andre Pallante. Alec Marsh comes in with a 6-6 record, 4.57 ERA. Numbers aren't great, but certainly a small improvement over his career numbers, although his strikeouts are down off of what they usually are. His recent form has not been great, though. 16 earned runs in 24 and 2/3 innings. That's a 5.84 ERA. That is way too high. He's given up 26 hits in those 24 and 2/3 innings, also way too high. 11 walks, 21 Ks. In his last start, Marsh had just 5 swinging strikes, 13 in his last 14 and 2/3 innings. I like to see those numbers a little bit higher. Pallante is 4-3 with a 4.00 ERA. He's been sensational over his last couple starts. Allowed just 1 earned run in his last 12 1/3 innings while allowing just 8 hits. In his last 5 starts, Pallante has allowed 7 earned runs in 26 innings. That's a 2.42 ERA. And speaking of ground ball percentage, Pallante is definitely a ground ball pitcher. I'm a little bit skeptical of this number because I thought we would see an 8.5, especially with the Royals kind of being an under team. But when I saw that 9, I thought, wow, that's a little bit head scratching. And Kansas City, by the way, is 51-39-2 to the under in 2024. And the Cardinals also skewed to the under 46-40-4 this season. With the juice on the over and a number that I think is already inflated, I smell a little bit of a trap here, so I'm going to go over that 9 minus $1.17. And in game number 2, 2:10 Eastern Time, 9/11, 9/12, Minnesota Twins minus $1.63, 8 over minus 12 against the Chicago White Sox. That's game 1 of a doubleheader. Simeon Woods Richardson against Eric Fetty. We do have some early betting numbers on this game of the doubleheader. 96% of the money and 85% of the tickets are on the Minnesota Twins. Go figure. It looks like, though, we are going to have to deal with some weather in this game, or early in this game. There's some wind that is expected to blow out to right center for the first half of the game, somewhere between 10 and 12 miles an hour. So make a little bit of an adjustment, or just maybe a note on that. Not everyone is convinced that Minnesota is the side here because we have seen a couple of steam moves on the White Sox at plus $1.76 at FanDuel, New Jersey early on. But I am looking at right now, FanDuel, Iowa just got a steam move wager on the Minnesota Twins. We've also seen some professional money pounding the under in this one. As far as the starting pitching is concerned, Woods Richardson is 3-1, a 3.48 ERA in 16 starts, which means we could probably expect him to throw 4 to 5 innings in this game. When you're 3-1 and you have 16 starts under your belt, you know that the bullpen is involved more times than not. Twins pen has been pretty effective though after taking over for Woods Richardson. The Twins have won 7 of his last 9 starts. So just because he goes through 4 or 5 innings, then hands it over to the pen, that's not been a recipe for disaster for the Twins this year. And of course, former UNLV star Eric Fedde is going to get the ball for the Chicago White Sox. Fedde's been really one of the bright spots for the White Sox this year. Played in Korea last year, came back to the Major League Baseball this year. He's 6-3, a 3.13 ERA, but he's also just given up 10 earned runs in his last 32 innings. That's a 2.81 ERA. I'm going to go under the total of 8.5 minus $1.22. Then game number 3, 6:35 Eastern Time, 9:21, 9:22, Chicago Cubs against the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles minus $1.70, 8.5 over minus 8 minus 30. Shota Imanaga against Corbin Burns. Get on this number quick because we're on the verge of an 8.5 here, which we've seen in a couple spots already. When you're looking at juice minus $1.30, that means the dam is about to break. It's not going to change our play because we always want to, but we always want to get the better of the number. So whether it's 8, 8.5, that doesn't really change anything. We just want to get the better of the number. We see 91% of the money and 85% of the tickets are on the Baltimore Orioles. To go with 96% of the money and 94% of the tickets on the over. The wind in this one may play a massive part in the outcome in this game, especially if you're betting totals. We are expecting 11 to 16 mile per hour gusts that are blowing out to left center for most of the game. Its peak, that 16 mile an hour, is going to start right about game time. So you might want to take that into account if you're betting the first inning prop or the first 5 inning prop. That is something that you will have to take into account. Imanaga is 7-2 this year, 3.16 ERA. Had some ugly starts over his last 5, 19 earned runs in his last 28 innings, allowed 31 hits and 6 homers. Of course, that includes that 10 earned run game in 3 innings against the New York Mets. That certainly has made his numbers not look as good. And then as far as Corbin Burns is concerned, 9-3, 2.32 ERA, has allowed 9 earned in his last 26 innings. That's a 3.12 ERA, so a little bit higher than what he's used to doing. But get on this number right now. This is going to go to 8.5, but whether you have it at 8 or 8.5, we're still going over right now, minus $1.30, going over the 8. So before we close the show today, I just wanted to update the numbers of teams with starting pitching that has an above average ground ball percentage, and we'll use 50% as our mark for these numbers. In 2024, we see teams with starting pitching, and I do want to preface too that you could have a situation where you have 2 starting pitchers with ground ball rates over 50%, which means no matter what the outcome, it would be a win and a loss. So to get into the numbers a little bit, teams with starting pitchers with ground ball percentages over 50% are just 359 and 325 this year, minus 16.86 units. I mean, and it's probably a lot worse than what you thought. Just 34 games over 500. But again, when we're dealing with money lines, you've got to be much better than that. Got to be, especially when you're dealing with favorites, because you want to be around that 60% mark just to break even. Only once in the last 7 years, which was 2019, has this filter produced a profit, which is, again, probably likely surprising. Because a ground ball pitcher, you would think, is a pretty good attribute to have when you're putting your money behind a team. So let's break it down a little bit further, and this is where we do find some trends. Now, there is a massive difference between betting on pitchers as a favorite and betting on these pitchers as a dog. Favorites with starters of a ground ball with ground ball percentages over 50% are 221 and 147. That's your 60% mark plus 3.01. Dogs 138 and 205. That's a 40.2% mark minus 19.86 units. So what does this tell us? Well, it looks to me that you have to not only combine a starting pitcher with a 50% rate or more, but you also have to combine it with a quality team behind them. And not a lot of these teams that are not or below average teams, come up and get the win just because they have a pitcher with a high ground ball rate. To break it down even further, road favorites are 75 and 52 in 2024. That's 59% win percentage plus 2.77 units. So even road favorites look like, when you use this filter, that looks to be very effective. Maybe something that you want to put into your handicapping arsenal. The teams who lead baseball in money won behind a starter with a ground ball rate of 50% or more are: number one, the Boston Red Sox, 30 and 21 this year, 7.86 units. Philadelphia Phillies, incredible record. Maybe something that you also want to take note of. 37 and 16 when their starting pitching has a ground ball rate of 50% or more, 7.48 units won. And the Kansas City Royals, third, 14 and 8 plus 3.14 units. So not a lot of action there. Just only 22 times this year that you would get Kansas City. But when that does happen, they produce the third most units won this season behind a quality starter. So if there's anything you'd like me to research, please just drop me a comment on that YouTube channel. I'll get to the numbers. I'd love to throw the numbers around a little bit and give you the results and see if we could just come up with just a few more tools to put into our handicapping toolbox. So that does it for your Wednesday free plays and handicapping tip of the day. Please go to pickdawgz.com, get involved with one of my many available packages, including my all access pass that gives you every play I release for one low price. Here's your Wednesday free play recap. Kansas City, St. Louis over 8.5. Minnesota, Chicago White Sox under 8.5 minus $1.22. That's game one of a DH. Chicago Cubs and the Baltimore Orioles over 8 minus 30. Get on that quick. That does it for today's show. Don't forget, just 3 more shows before I'm taking my talents down to South Beach, or really Orlando, but sounds better when I say South Beach. I'll be down there for a week, so I'll be back a week from Saturday with our next video after I do it on Friday. So anyway, 3 more today: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, week off. Be back on Saturday. Thank you to everyone who continues to watch. For Against the Public, I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you and your wagers on Wednesday.